Hello, welcome to TOPHER'S Stories, where stories comes alive. Please subscribe and share with friends. Now relax and enjoy the story. The hall smelled of fresh roses and wealth. Chloe Martin stood at the entrance of the church, dressed in a simple but elegant ivory lace gown. Her heart raced, not just from nerves but from the joy she thought was finally hers. She looked at herself in the mirror in the waiting room one last time. "This is it," she whispered. After everything. Brandon Cole was everything she had prayed for. Handsome, ambitious, and the kind of man who always knew what to say. They had planned every detail of this wedding together, or so she thought. But as the minutes passed and the music kept playing without a groom, Chloe's smile began to waver. Then Ava, her best friend and Brandon's cousin, rushed in. Her heels clicked against the marble floor, her face pale. "Chloe," Ava panted, holding her phone tightly. "You need to come outside." Chloe blinked. "Why? Is Brandon okay?" "He's outside." Chloe's heart dropped, still in her wedding dress. She lifted her gown and followed Ava to the church's side exit. There, under the shadow of a bougainvillea tree, stood Brandon in a navy blue suit, not a wrinkle on him, but a storm in his eyes. "What is this?" she asked, breathless. Brandon didn't look up at first. Then he handed her a small velvet box. "I can't do this." Chloe stared at it. "What do you mean you can't?" He sighed, running a hand through his neatly trimmed hair. "You're amazing, Chloe, you are. But you're safe. You're simple. You don't fit into the future I see for myself." Tears welled up in her eyes. "Are you seriously doing this today? In front of all our friends, my family?" "Brandon, we've been planning this for months." "You don't understand," he said, shaking his head. "I got a new job offer. Big money, international exposure. And I met someone." Her hand shot up. Don't finish that sentence." "I have to think of my future," he said coldly. "You're not enough, Chloe." She didn't realize she had dropped the box until she heard the ring hit the ground. It rolled a little before stopping at the toe of her white shoe. "You coward," she whispered. Brandon didn't flinch. "I gave you everything, Brandon. I helped you build your app. I stayed with you when you had nothing but promises. And now you leave me for ambition?" "For a better match," he said and walked away, not even turning back once. Chloe stood there, a statue in white. Silent tears rolled down her cheeks as the sound of celebration turned into whispers and confusion inside the church. Ava gently touched her shoulder. "Come on, let's go home." Chloe didn't speak. As they walked back toward the waiting car, someone from the crowd tried to hand her a tissue. Another guest filmed her silently. The image of the abandoned bride was going to be all over social media by sundown, but all Chloe could think of was, "He really left me." Just like that. Chloe didn't leave her bed for a week. The curtain stayed shut. The untouched wedding cake, 3 tiers of red velvet and gold, sat in her fridge like a cruel joke. Her mother tried to cheer her up with old proverbs and jollof rice. Ava stayed by her side, bringing fresh gossip about Brandon's upgrade fiancé and the new company he was partnering with in Johannesburg. None of it helped. Then one night, around 3 a.m., Chloe sat up in bed, eyes swollen and hair wild. "I need to bake." Ava, half asleep on the couch, blinked. "You what?" Chloe stood up. "I need to bake. Not for anyone. Just for me." In the kitchen, she opened the cupboard and pulled out flour, sugar, butter, and eggs. Her hands moved on their own. Measure, whisk, fold, pour. The smell of cinnamon filled the air. Chloe breathed it in and, for the first time in days, her chest didn't feel like it was caving in. She made banana bread, then chocolate cupcakes, then her signature coconut-crusted velvet cake. By morning, there were over a dozen boxes of pastries on the counter. Ava walked in, rubbing her eyes. "Did you sleep?" "No," Chloe said, "but I feel better." Ava smiled. "These smell like heaven." Chloe picked up one cupcake and took a bite. They taste like revenge. That afternoon, she packed a few boxes and headed to the streets of Lekki Phase 1. She stood near the roundabout with a handwritten sign, "Heartbreak Sweets, 500 naira each. At first, people stared. Some laughed. Is this a prank? One man asked. Try it, Chloe said. No pressure. He did, and his eyes widened. You made this? She nodded. Soon, a few more people stopped. Someone took a photo of her in her apron with the little sign. Another took a video of her story. She was left at the altar last week. Now she's baking like a queen. The post went viral. That night, her DM exploded. People wanted to order cupcakes, cakes for weddings, birthdays, divorces, even I hate my ex boxes. A woman messaged, I cried into your strawberry muffins today. Thank you. Another, girl, your pain tastes like magic. Where can I order a dozen? Chloe stared at her phone and laughed. A deep, loud, freeing laugh. She turned to Ava. People love it. Of course they do, Ava said proudly. You're a phoenix with frosting. By the end of the week, Chloe created an Instagram page at Heartbreak Sweets. She posted daily photos of her pastries. Cupcakes topped with edible quotes like, he fumbled, more cake, less boys, and left me, your loss. Each caption told a little of her story. Each photo, a step of her healing. Within 2 weeks, she had over 50,000 followers. Celebrities began reposting her work. A food blogger called her the heartbreak baker we didn't know we needed. Orders came in from all over Lagos. She couldn't keep up with demand. A stranger sent her a message. Would you consider expanding? I'd love to invest. She paused. Then another message came through. This time from a verified account. Zane Russell. Chloe stood behind her makeshift counter at the Lekki Sunday Market, wearing a pink apron that said Sugar Heals. Her cupcakes were arranged in perfect rows, each one topped with a witty message in icing. Unbothered, single and sweet, block him. And her favorite, baked, not broken. Business had been good all morning. Women laughed and took selfies with the cupcakes. Men bought boxes, pretending it was for their sisters. She smiled through it all, but behind her calm face was a storm of exhaustion. Baking all night and selling all day had become her routine. Excuse me, a calm, deep voice said from across the table. She looked up. The man was tall, dressed casually in jeans and a linen shirt, clean-shaven, with sharp eyes and skin the color of roasted coffee beans. His accent held a smooth Ghanaian rhythm. I'll have that one, he said, pointing to a cake slice labeled Lemon Regret. Chloe picked it up. Rough day? He smiled. Not anymore. He took a bite. His brow lifted. Then he paused and stared at the slice like it had revealed a secret. This is incredible, he said slowly. Who baked this? I did. He raised a brow. Seriously? I'm seriously serious. I've had desserts in Paris, New York, and Accra, he said. None of them gave me what the slice just gave me. Chloe laughed. You say that to all the heartbreak bakers? He grinned. Only the ones who heal me in 3 bites. She blushed and turned away quickly. Anything else? He reached into his pocket and handed her a card. It was matte black with silver letters. Zane Russell, founder, Artec Innovations. I'd like to talk to you about your business, he said. She frowned. My business? Yes, you've got something special here, Chloe. And I think it deserves more than a market stall and hashtags. Think, a storefront, packaging, shipping nationwide. Scaling. She studied the card. You're serious? I never joke with my money. Her eyes narrowed. Why are you really interested? Is it the cupcakes or the girl behind them? He smiled, unbothered. Both are impressive. But let's keep this professional for now. Chloe bit her lip, unsure if she wanted to laugh or run. Let me think about it. Good, he said. I'll call tomorrow. As he walked away, a small crowd took his place, eager for their own taste. But all Chloe could think about was a man who tasted her lemon regret and wanted to turn it into gold. 2 weeks later, Chloe was invited to a high society product launch for a new luxury fashion line. One of her Instagram followers, an influencer named Tenny, had insisted Chloe cater the desserts. You'll be around important people, Tenny said. You never know who's watching. So Chloe dressed in a sleek black jumpsuit, natural makeup, and red lipstick. Her hair was tied into a neat bun. She looked like the successful woman she was becoming. As she arranged a dessert table of edible flowers, chocolate mousse towers, and her now famous heartbreak cupcakes, she noticed Ava walking toward her. "You look like you own the whole event," Ava said. "Let them believe it." Chloe smiled. Suddenly, a hush fell over the room, followed by gasps. "He's here," Ava whispered. Chloe turned slowly. Brandon. He walked in wearing an expensive tailored suit, his arm wrapped around a woman who could have been plucked from a designer magazine. Tall, golden-skinned, with a diamond bracelet sparkling under the lights. Her name was Vanessa Price, heiress to a media empire. And Brandon? He looked smug, like a man who thought he'd won the game. They walked toward the dessert table. Chloe's heart pounded, but she held her ground. "Wow," Brandon said, scanning the table. "Didn't expect to see you here, Chloe. Still playing Baker?" Chloe didn't flinch. "Still playing yourself, I see." Vanessa gave a polite smile. "You made these?" Chloe nodded. Vanessa picked up a cupcake with gold dust. "Pretty. What's it called?" "Sweet Justice," Chloe said, voice cool. Brandon chuckled. "Still dramatic. I guess some things don't change." Chloe leaned closer. "Oh, some things do. Like my income, my confidence, and the fact that I now own a dessert brand catering the top 5 events in Lagos." Brandon's smile faded slightly. Vanessa blinked. "Wait, Heartbreak Sweets? That's you?" Chloe nodded again, her voice sharp and sweet. "Founder, head chef, and CEO." Just then, the event host walked up. "Chloe, the guests are obsessed. Can we confirm you for the next 4 launches?" "Absolutely," Chloe said, eyes locked on Brandon. "Let's discuss my rate after this." The host clapped and walked away. Brandon's jaw tightened. "You've changed." Chloe smiled. "No, I just remembered who I was before I let you waste my time." He opened his mouth, but said nothing. As they walked away, Ava nudged her. "That was the best thing I've seen all year." Chloe exhaled deeply, finally allowed herself to smile fully. And in the corner of the room, Zane stood, watching her with quiet admiration. Later that night, he texted, "You handled that like a queen. Ready to build the empire?" She replied, "Let's bake it into existence." Chloe sat in her new office. Well, it was really just a converted storage room above her kitchen space, but had a desk, a laptop, and the smell of success. She had barely finished checking her email when Ava burst in. "Guess who just called the company line?" she asked, eyes wide. Chloe looked up, uninterested. "A customer who wants cake shaped like their ex's face again?" "Nope. Brandon." Chloe blinked. "Wait, what?" Brandon called. Ava nodded, walking over. "He asked to speak with you directly. Said he had a business proposal." Chloe laughed, sharp and bitter. "Business? From the same man who said I wasn't enough." "Ignore him," Ava said, crossing her arms. "He's just jealous." Chloe tapped her pen on the desk. "No, let's meet him." "What? Why?" Chloe's eyes darkened slightly. "Because revenge tastes better when it's served with frosting." The cafe where they met was sleek and expensive, one of those places where even water was overpriced. Chloe walked in confidently, dressed in a fitted emerald green dress that made her skin glow. Brandon stood when he saw her. "You look amazing." Chloe gave a polite smile. "Did you expect me to look broken?" He scratched his neck awkwardly. "No, wow." She sat down. "So why am I here, Brandon?" He leaned in, lowering his voice. "I've been watching what you've built. It's impressive. You turned a breakup into a brand. That's real power." "Thanks," she said flatly. "I've been speaking with investors." "I want in," he said. "I think Heartbreak Sweets can go international. And with the right partners like me, we can take this global." Chloe tilted her head. "You want to invest?" "Yes," Brandon said. "And maybe fix things between us." She narrowed her eyes. "Are you trying to buy shares of my business and in my life?" He chuckled. "Come on, Chloe. We had something. Maybe we still do. Chloe smiled sweetly. Tell me, Brandon, does your heiress know you're here begging your ex? His face fell. It's not like that. Things with Vanessa are complicated. Oh, I'm sure. He leaned in again. Just think about it. We could rule together. Chloe's eyes twinkled. I'll think about it. But in her heart, she already knew the answer. She didn't need Brandon's money. What she needed was for him to feel what she once felt: rejection, doubt, and loss. That night, she opened a new limited edition box called The Ex-Investor, a mix of bittersweet chocolate, lemon crumble, and burnt caramel. The tagline read, "Some offers look sweet until you taste the bitterness underneath." And within the week, it sold out. It had been 2 months since Zane had invested in Heartbreak Sweets. Business was booming. The company now had a proper office, full-time staff, and contract from luxury events across Nigeria. But between investor meetings and recipe development, Chloe and Zane had also grown closer. They shared coffee almost every morning. He brought her new ideas and gadgets. She introduced him to Puff Puff and palm wine. There were stolen glances, long texts at night, and quiet laughs that didn't need explanation. One night, after a particularly successful event, Zane offered to drive her home. "You're quiet," Chloe said as they drove through the dim streets of Victoria Island. "Just tired," he replied. "And thinking." "About what?" Zane glanced at her, then back at the road. "About how you turned pain into something beautiful." She smiled softly. Maybe pain is just passion in disguise. They reached her apartment. She hesitated before stepping out. "Want to come up? I have leftover cake and ginger tea." Zane smiled. "Only if the cake comes with a story." Inside, they sat on her balcony, legs curled under them, the city lights flickering below. Chloe handed him a slice of honey almond cake. "This one's called the second chance. I made it the night I realized I wanted to trust people again." He took a bite and sighed. "You're dangerous, you know that?" She laughed. "Why?" "Because every time I eat your cake, I want to know your heart." Their eyes met. "Zane!" He leaned closer. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course. Would it scare you if I said I came to Nigeria for more than just business?" Chloe frowned. "What do you mean?" He looked down at his hands. "Before I found you, I was sent here by my company to scout rising businesses. But once I met you, the mission changed. So, you were looking for someone to invest in?" "Yes, but I stayed because of you." Chloe pulled away slightly. "So this started as a job?" "Yes, but it became something else." "Chloe, I've never met anyone like you. You inspire me. You challenge me. You—" Before he could finish, she stood and walked to the railing, facing the night sky. "Everyone always wants something from me," she whispered. "My ideas, my time, my heart, and now you." Zane stood beside her. "I didn't plan to fall for you, but I did." Silence, just the hum of the city below. And then she turned, their eyes locked, and in that moment, all the walls, all the sarcasm, and all the pain melted. Zane reached for her face gently. "If this is too soon, tell me." She didn't speak. Instead, she leaned in and kissed him. It was slow, soft, real, like the kind of kiss that rewrites memories. When they pulled apart, she whispered, "Now the cake has a new name." He smiled. "What's it called?" "The kiss that broke my rules." Ava paced her apartment, her heart pounding. She'd gone through old records in her uncle's study while visiting for the weekend. He'd been drunk again, talking loudly about how they took care of that stubborn man who refused to sell. Ava hadn't thought much of it until she saw a name on a property file. Thomas Wills, Chloe's father. Ava had always known her uncle worked in land development, but she had no idea he was tied to that land grab, the same one that destroyed Chloe's family. She grabbed the file and flipped through documents, forged signatures, altered land deeds, huge bribes, and a signature at the bottom of one contract. Vanessa Price. Ava's hand shook. Vanessa wasn't just Brandon's heiress girlfriend. She was one of the partners in the deal that pushed Chloe's father to his grave. Chloe had told her, years ago, how her father died of a heart attack after fighting to protect his farmland. The government bulldozed it anyway. And now, the woman responsible was sitting in luxury, sipping champagne, mocking Chloe's dreams. Ava drove to Chloe's apartment that same night. Chloe opened the door in sweatpants, face bare. "Ava? What's wrong? We need to talk. Now." They sat in the kitchen. Ava handed over a file. Chloe flipped through it slowly. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because I found out something," Ava said, tears filling her eyes. "And I didn't want to believe it. But it's true." Chloe's hands froze on the page with Vanessa's signature. This can't be real. "I'm sorry, Chloe. Your father didn't just die because of stress. They destroyed him on purpose. And Vanessa, she helped make it happen." Chloe's voice broke. "Why now? Why are you only telling me now?" "Because my uncle is part of it too." Chloe stepped back. "Your uncle?" Ava nodded. "He brought Vanessa in on the deal. He always said business is business. But Chloe, this isn't business. This is blood." Chloe looked at her best friend. "And what are you going to do?" Ava swallowed hard. "I'm going to testify if you take them to court, even if it means turning on my own family." Chloe stared for a long moment. "Are you sure?" "Yes," Ava whispered. "Because family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's who shows up for you when the world wants you destroyed." Chloe hugged her tightly. "Thank you. We'll fight this. Together." The headline hit the internet like a bomb. "Heartbreak Sweets built on lies. Chloe Wills accused of stealing recipes and sleeping her way to the top." It was published on a gossip site funded by Vanessa's media group. The article included photos of Chloe and Zane leaving her apartment, heavily edited, with fake timestamps. Social media exploded. Some people believed it. Others didn't. But Chloe wasn't going to let her name be dragged in the dirt. Not this time. She filed a defamation suit the next morning. Now, 2 weeks later, she stood in court. Her lawyer, a fierce woman named Keisha, prepared her for everything. As Chloe walked to the witness box, she noticed Brandon and Vanessa sitting beside their lawyer. Brandon looked nervous. Vanessa looked smug. Keisha began questioning. "Chloe, can you tell the court what this article cost you?" Chloe held her chin up. 3 canceled contracts. 2 investors pulled out. And my reputation. People started doubting me. Again. Keisha nodded. "And did you steal any recipes?" "No," Chloe said firmly. "I created every flavor from my own kitchen, with my own pain and healing. My business was born from truth." "And did you sleep your way to the top?" Chloe glanced at Zane in the gallery. His face was calm but proud. "No," she said. "I earned every bit of what I have. Through flour, sweat, and tears." There were murmurs in the courtroom. Then Keisha held up a small box. "Your Honor, we'd like to present Exhibit C." A bailiff opened the box and brought it to the judge. Inside was a cake. A single-tiered chocolate fondant cake, iced in white with red lettering. "Here's the real recipe. 1 heartbreak plus 2 betrayals plus 3 a.m., baking plus no sleep plus faith." The judge raised a brow. Keisha said, "This cake was made by Ms. Wills herself. It's a symbol of her process. Each word on it represents a night she spent building something meaningful, not just a dessert brand, but a movement." The judge asked, "Is this a publicity stunt?" "No, Your Honor," Keisha replied. "It's her testimony, in edible form." The courtroom chuckled gently. The defense lawyer stood. "Your Honor, we object. This is not a bakery competition." But the judge held up a hand. "Overruled. Sometimes truth needs flavor." Laughter followed. But Vanessa was no longer smiling. Then came Ava's moment. She took the stand and revealed the truth about her uncle and Vanessa's role in the land scandal. Every word shook the room. She produced evidence. Emails, voice notes, and a land file. By the time she finished, Vanessa's lawyer looked pale. And Brandon? He was sweating bullets. The judge took a deep breath. "This court finds that Chloe Wills was maliciously defamed. The court awards her 150 million naira in damages and orders a public apology from the defendants within 7 days." Chloe exhaled. She'd won. As she exited the courtroom, reporters surrounded her. "Chloe, how does it feel?" She smiled softly. Truth always rises, just like cake. Zane met her at the car. "You were incredible," he said. She laughed. "So was that cake." He leaned in. "So what's the name of that one?" Chloe winked. "Defamation delight. Tastes like justice." It had been 3 weeks since the court ruling. Brandon and Vanessa had become public villains. News outlets roasted them. Brands pulled away from Vanessa's PR firm. Brandon's social circle shrank overnight. His once spotless Instagram had gone quiet. Meanwhile, Chloe's business soared. Her new cake collection, risen from ruins, sold out in days. The story of her fight against defamation made headlines, and people admired her grace under pressure. She even got an offer to speak at a women's empowerment summit in Cape Town. But nothing could have prepared her for the knock at her bakery door that morning. Chloe had come in early to prepare for a tasting. The bakery was quiet, filled only with the scent of vanilla and cinnamon. Then the bell rang. She looked up, and there he was, Brandon. He looked tired, thin. His usual arrogance was gone. His eyes were red, like he hadn't slept. "Chloe," he said quietly. She didn't respond, just folded her arms. I didn't know where else to go," he continued. "You shouldn't have come here," she said firmly. "I know," he said quickly, "but I needed to see you, to talk." Chloe raised an eyebrow. "Now you want to talk?" "I messed up," Brandon said. "I didn't see your worth until it was too late. I let ambition blind me. I chose image over heart. And now I've lost everything." Chloe stepped out from behind the counter. "No, Brandon, you lost me. Long before the court case. You lost me the day you looked at me in that wedding dress and said I was enough." Brandon's voice cracked. "I didn't mean it. I was scared. Everyone expected me to marry rich, to build a legacy. I thought you couldn't keep up." "And now you're here," Chloe said, her voice calm. Broken, and begging. "But you're not doing this for love. You're doing it for comfort." He dropped to his knees. "I'm sorry. Chloe, please, give me another chance. I'll make it right. I swear." For a long moment, she looked at him, this man she once loved, the man who broke her in front of the world. Then she crouched down and looked into his eyes. "I used to dream of this moment," she whispered, "of you coming back, of you regretting what you did. But now that it's here," she smiled, "I feel nothing." Brandon's lips trembled. "Chloe, please." "No," she said, standing tall. "You had your chance, and you buried it." He remained kneeling, but she walked away. She didn't even turn when the door closed behind him. Cape Town was bright, breezy, and beautiful. Chloe stood outside her newest location, a modern glass-front bakery with a pink neon sign that read, "Heartbreak Sweets, Cape Town Flagship." A crowd had gathered. Influencers, local celebrities, food bloggers. A ribbon stretched across the entrance, and in her hands was a pair of silver scissors. Ava stood beside her, grinning. "You did it, girl." Chloe took a deep breath. "We did it." Zane stepped forward, wearing a crisp navy suit, holding a bouquet of lilies, her favorite. "Your speech," he said, handing her the mic. Chloe turned to crowd. 5 years ago, I was left at the altar. I cried into batter, screamed into bowls, and healed through ovens. This bakery is more than sugar and flour. It's about rising after falling, about choosing yourself even when others don't. The crowd cheered. After the ribbon was cut and the cameras snapped, Chloe and Zane slipped away to the rooftop. The sun was setting behind Table Mountain, painting the sky in soft golds and purples. "I have something for you," Zane said, reaching into his pocket. Chloe's heart skipped. Zane pulled out a small velvet box, opened it. A delicate gold ring shimmered in the fading light. A single emerald stone, the color of hope and rebirth. "Chloe Wills," he began, eyes locked on hers. "You are strong, brilliant, and beautiful. I want to be part of your story, not your savior. Will you marry me?" She looked at the ring, then at him. Then she smiled. "Zane," she said softly, "I love you. More than I thought I ever could again. His smile widened. But, she continued gently, for the first time in my life, I want to choose me. Zane blinked. You're saying no? He asked, not hurt, just surprised. I'm saying not yet, Chloe said. Let me grow a little more. Heal a little deeper. Be my own woman before I become someone's wife again. Zane nodded slowly. I respect that. Chloe leaned forward and kissed him, soft and warm. This isn't the end, she said. It's a beginning. As they stood under the stars, Chloe smiled to herself. Brandon left. Zane came, but she stayed. And finally, she was exactly where she needed to be. Oh,